For those of you that don't remember, in the 2020 Libertarian, that's right, we're talking about the Libertarians now. Again, I know it's been a while. The 2020 Libertarian presidential primaries, a very specific character decided to crop up and pop up throughout that extravagant extravaganza. And that's right, folks. John motherfucking McAfee. Right. So this guy's in the news again because basically he's getting warrants for his arrest over cryptocurrency scams and other alleged crimes. So let's see. We have this nice, beautiful image. This is reading from Mashable, folks. Self-described leading digital security expert John McAfee appears to have made the age-old mistake of believing his Twitter DMs were private. Can you imagine? Imagine, right? You're John McAfee and you're like, I'm going to exchange criminal behavior in Twitter DMs. What? Currently in Spanish prison, awaiting extradition to the U.S. on charges of tax evasion, the renowned cryptocurrency shill was charged Friday by the U.S. Department of Justice with the additional charges of fraud and money laundering. Working against the noted bath salts fan is the act that, as detailed as the accompanying complaint, the FBI got a hold of McAfee's unencrypted Twitter DMs, also known as Twitter DMs, because Twitter DMs are not unencrypted or encrypted. They're just Twitter DMs, in which he discussed in detail his various schemes. Reminder, never admit to crimes, folks. Just don't do it. At the heart of Friday's charges are two allegations. First, that McAfee engaged in multiple pump and then dump schemes to drive up the price of specific altcoins and the cryptocurrency tokens without first revealing that he owned them, and in some cases outright denying that he did, in order to sell at an inflated price. Second, McAfee is accused of promoting initial coin offerings without disclosing that he was being paid to do so by the companies in question. I love cryptocurrency, and I love when I see big people like this go to jail over it, because honestly, it's hilarious. Something similar tripped up Steven Seagal in February of 2020. Thank you for the editorial. According to the DOJ complaint, McAfee's preferred pumping method of choice was Twitter, which brings us back to his direct messages. Unlike, say, with the messaging app of Signal, reminder to install Signal on your phone, it's free, messages sent via Twitter direct messages are not end-to-end encrypted. This means that, as we saw with 2020's Twitter hack, hackers, Twitter employees, and law enforcement officials with a warrant to do so can access all of the content of those messages, which, if you're the world's leading security expert like McAfee, and using Twitter as an integral part of your alleged criminal scheme, might be worth keeping in mind. And yet, here we have some tweets here. This is such a good tweet. I'm John fucking McAfee, world's leading security expert. If I don't want to be found, I will not be found. Do you remember, this is during 2020, when John McAfee was, in a boat, he was in a speedboat, going from country to country, and he also did this, multiple week-long skit where he was in, a giant Faraday cage. He had, fucking foil wrap all over the walls and shit, and he had, just his phone so he could check his cryptocurrencies. Right. Do you remember that? God, John Mac. I wish I covered him more extensively during the campaign, because honestly, he was so funny. The complaint relies on, at multiple points, McAfee's own words, as etched in private direct messages sent to or from McAfee's verified Twitter account to build its case against him. From my review of DM communications recovered from the official McAfee Twitter account, I have learned that on or about December 17th, 2017, the founder of Issue 1 sent McAfee a DM asking McAfee to promote ICO1 so that ICO1 was not lost in the ocean of ICOs. McAfee responded that he would agree to promote ICO1 by tweeting a reasonable number of tweets, very Trumpian, a reasonable number of tweets, which have a substantial impact on cryptocurrency market in exchange for substantial compensation. I do remember when I was in cryptocurrency back in 2017 and 18, this motherfucker would do so many of these pump and dumps. It was ridiculous. I thought that was common knowledge, but apparently now he's just finally going to jail for it. Or at least, he might be going to jail at a certain point. in the near future, as in like next week. Well, McAfee's apparent willingness to blithely chat about alleged crimes over direct messages combined with his self-purported security prowess may seem like a criminal contradiction, it points to a larger problem. Namely, the security of Twitter direct messages. In July, following the major Twitter hack that saw the accounts of Elon Musk, Joe Biden, Barack Obama pushing Bitcoin scams, the Electronic Frontier Foundation laid out why Twitter's failure to end-to-end encrypt direct messages is such a monumental problem for all kinds of Twitter users, not just the would-be crypto kings. I love that. Crypto kings. God bless. The crypto cringers, more like. See? Twitter direct messages, or DMs, some of the most sensitive user data on the platform, are vulnerable to this week's kind of internal compromise, wrote the EFF. That's because they are not end-to-end encrypted. Reminder, if you're going to sext, do it on Signal, folks. Do not sext on Discord or Twitter, right? They're going to have all of your naked photos. If you want to send people pics of your fat ass, do it on Signal. I guarantee you, you're going to not fucking regret it later. You can also put disappearing messages on there. So there you go. Just saying. That means Twitter can hand them over in response to law enforcement requests. They can be leaked. And in the case of this week's attack, internal access can be abused by malicious attackers and Twitter employees themselves. The world's leading security expert, it would seem, could learn a thing or two from the EFF blog. So this is pretty good. I love this shit. I love when these people just like fall. It's just extremely like, oh my god, it's hilarious. But anyway, I need to drink some water because my body's about to break down. Oh, there you go, folks. There you go. Oh my god, Bodan. Bodan, for the love of God. Hello, Max. Hello. Hello, my precious doggy.